Welcome friends to the channel Classy Frugality. My name is Tanya and I'm so glad you've decided to join me today. Everything's going up in price. I've heard different things on the news. Walmart put out a statement recently that they are increasing prices on things. They weren't very specific, I guess you'd say, about what they're going to increase prices on. But they just said there would be price increases. I heard somebody say something about bananas. You know, I eat a banana every day. Bananas are one of the cheapest, most nutritious foods that you can find, and so a price increase on bananas would really impact me personally. I'm sure there are other things too. So let's talk about things that we can do to practice just frugal, mindful grocery shopping and meal planning. So the first thing that I want to talk about is just the importance of being real mindful when you're doing your grocery shopping. And it's not just about price too. We want to try to consider other things like healthy eating as well as financial wellness. So you could probably go out, you could buy a pack of ramen noodles for every meal of the day for an entire month, and that'd run you about $30 for the whole month for your food, but that isn't very healthy. Now, I love ramen noodles. I have some here. Actually, I have some. But it's not something that I know I need to eat every day. I'm not in that situation. Some people have to. But anyway, just as example. So when you are grocery shopping, the goal is to try to look for the healthiest foods and ingredients that you possibly can for the least amount of money, most cost-effective items. For me, I like to go to Kroger's reduced section, the red bag section. You've seen me talk about the Kroger red bags. You can get a whole little bag of whatever produce it is that they have there for 99 cents. And I've found some really good deals that way. You want to look for produce that's in season when you're trying to shop both healthy and thinking about your money. A couple things that mindful grocery shopping does is it does reduce your food waste too. I mean, sometimes, okay, good example. I love jalapeno peppers. And they actually had a Kroger red bag deal full of jalapeno peppers one day, but I passed it up. It was literally like 2 handfuls, and I knew I wouldn't eat that many before they went bad. And I knew that realistically I didn't have time to process them, chop them up and put them in the freezer and all that, so I passed it up. So I did 2 things there. I prevented food waste and I saved myself 99 cents. Mindful grocery shopping really helps you make conscious choices about what you want to eat. You know, it's like I said, you can eat ramen noodles. That's an easy decision. You just pull the pack of ramen noodles out of the cabinet, fix it, and you're done. But if you practice mindful shopping, you're thinking of all the possible combinations of things you can eat. You're meal planning, you're putting things together. All right, so speaking of meal plans, I want you to create a meal plan for the week. It will help you out tremendously. It will help you save time, it will help you save money, and it will help you eat tastier, better food. So how to start that? Just start brainstorming. Brainstorm some meals based on your preferences. You might have dietary needs. You might not be able to have gluten. You might be dairy intolerant. So when you're doing that mindful grocery shopping, you're doing that meal planning, think about those things. Think about those meals that are maybe easier to prepare. Maybe meals that the whole family likes, and beyond a shadow of a doubt they all like them, which would also in turn reduce your food waste like we talked about a minute ago. Plan for leftovers and plan for repurposing ingredients. I love to roll different things. So for example, when we make pinto beans in the crock pot, I intentionally put extra beans in the crock pot. That way I know I'll have some left over for bean burritos. Love bean burritos, and they're so simple, they're so dirt cheap. If you go, I can't remember the brand of it, but they make some prepackaged frozen burritos. They used to come like 8 or 10 to a package. They're going up to $5 or $6 now for that. And I mean, you can get a whole pack of tortillas at Walmart for like $2 and something. And then beans, I mean, you'd probably be talking, let's be super generous and say 50 cents. I mean, it's probably not going to take that much. Then whatever seasonings you add to that, if you want to put a little bit of cheese with it or a little bit of sauce, whatever. Either way, you're going to end up healthier, you're going to end up cheaper, and it's going to be a delicious meal. So plan in some extra leftovers when you're cooking. May as well. Factor in time for cooking and prepping. Think about that when you're making your meal plan. Work harder, not smarter, I know is the old saying. So basically, if you're going to turn that stove on anyway, try to think about the time management involved in that. If you're cooking, go ahead and add some more things in there. Think about how long it takes you to make each of those meals. Think about how long it takes you to prepare those ingredients. Maybe you chop all your ingredients at once. If you're chopping onions for one meal, go ahead and chop onions up for another meal for tomorrow or the next day. Put it in an airtight container, or if you're going to use it in cooking, you could even freeze stuff like that. All right. Now, let's talk about mastering the grocery list. So, I think probably the worst thing a person could do is to go to the store without having a list. I've done it. I always end up spending more money that way. I went to the grocery store the other day, and it was the day that we were without electricity. I was looking for convenience items that I didn't have to cook. I ended up spending $90, and that's I try to spend no more than $50 for two people, for us. So, think about that. Shop based on that menu plan that we just talked about you making. Avoid impulse purchases. I know a lot of these sweet rolls and cinnamon rolls and all that stuff looks so good, believe me, I know. But try to avoid those things. And then also categorize your food based on where they're organized at in the store to save you some time. Like in my grocery store, probably every grocery store, the fresh stuff is on the outer perimeter of the store. So when you first come in, it's like the produce, and then you go on around. You come to, in Kroger, it's like the deli, the cheeses, and then you get to like the meats and all that stuff. And then the dairy. So try to think about the way your store's laid out, and that's the way you make that grocery list. That way you're not zigzagging back and forth, you're wasting time. You might see something while you're zigzagging that, like, hey squirrel, you'll see something that wasn't on your list, but it looks so good you can't resist it. That's where you get into spending more money and wasting more time. If you have a loyalty program, coupons, please use those. Kroger sends me coupons all the time. It's always for free items too. I get at least, I think, of one free item a month. And that's, it's not a great deal, but it's something. It's a nice surprise too when I get it. So it's like a little gift from Kroger. Sometimes it's a dozen eggs, sometimes it's a jar of peanut butter. Just never know what it'll be. They do seem to base it on my shopping habits. So anyway, choose. I already really touched on this, but it's another smart shopping tip to choose produce that's in section for optimal quality and cost. It's wintertime is not a good time to go buying strawberries. It's just not. You're going to pay a fortune. They're not going to taste as good because they're going to be grown, I don't know, in a greenhouse or wherever. Hydroponically grown tomatoes don't taste good. They just taste watery to me. They don't have any flavor. So buy what's in season. It's going to be more plentiful, therefore, supply and demand. So that's going to drive the cost down. And since it's in season, it's going to taste better. All right. Let's talk about making more of your groceries. Now, store and organize your food properly to maintain freshness. If you have produce that you need to deal with it, go ahead and deal with it. If it needs to be chopped up, put in containers, please try to do that. Watermelon is a big one for us. If we don't cut that watermelon open and actually cut it off the rind and then chop it into the little cubes, the likelihood that we're going to eat it is not as good. So we'd be wasting money again, wasting food. Also, prioritize your ingredients nearing the expiration date first. Use up things that are getting ready to go bad. And I love that word prioritize, by the way. Hope, if you happen to be watching, hope from under the median, this is one of your keywords, and I love it. Anyway, use your ingredients that are getting ready to go bad. Don't let that stuff go bad. If you've got some potatoes down in the bin that are starting to get a little shriveled, a little soft, go ahead and use them. Peel that potato up, use it in something. Also, think about different creative ways you can use leftovers to avoid waste. Like I was talking about those beans earlier. That's, that's creative. But listen, soup, chili, you can throw just about anything in a soup and make it good. So just try to think of different ways that you can use those leftovers. I'm trying to think of some good examples. Nothing really pops off the top of my head right now. But just, a potato. You got a leftover potato. I've even thrown fried potatoes in soup. Any kind of leftover pasta, you can throw that in soup. Just roll different things over. But anyway, I am so glad that you decided to join me today. We're trying to get back on a normal schedule. Last week's tornado really did throw kind of a stick in my spokes, and I'm trying to get back to just, normal, regular filming. Continue to pray for those people that were really affected, if you will. But if you liked this video, please give me a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe down in the corner. Until I see you again, have a blessed day.